Hi, everybody. I'm back in my usual place, and today is day 6, and the topic for today is finding your node in the cosmic web. So I drew a picture. You'll see that's not my forte. This is supposed to be like a spider web, and those little circles are supposed to be people. The big circle in the middle is the central soul of the holiest person of the generation, the universal soul. I'm not sure we'll talk about that right now, maybe a little. Anyway, the idea is that all of the universe is connected. We're all part of one giant intrinsic system, like a giant web. But each of us is a node, which means that each of us is a center from which communication, information, consciousness, co-creation flows out. So you have this complex system where everyone is not only part of it, but everybody is a central part of it. Everybody, in a certain sense, is like the center. So the idea is that when we are experiencing life inside of this web, we are not just experiencing from within our own beings or what we're picking up, but our past, our future, our circumstances, but actually the information that's flowing through all of reality that all human beings are connected to, again, forget the picture, is coming from, it's full of reaction and cross-reaction. As each person is putting out information, is receiving information from the entire system, translating it through their own, interpreting it through their own lens, their own predispositions, their own filter, and then thinking, speaking, and acting accordingly. So the more that the information and energy of humanity, of life, moves through this complex system, the more complicated it becomes to actually feel where we are and who we are. And to really know, there's some healing modalities that train people to distinguish between what is coming from them, what's theirs, and what is coming from something or someone else. So that's really useful to know. So the thing I want to suggest for you today is to become aware of yourself. First of all, when you're reacting to something, ask yourself, is this mine? Is this coming from me? Or is it perhaps programming that I got from someone else? Or is it, let me give you a little example. Sometimes when my kids were younger, the family would get, everybody's pretty self-expressed, the family would get kind of loud, and, or let's say maybe I would be tense, or my husband would be tense, or whatever. And when somebody would lose their temper or would raise their voice a little too much, in order to let off steam, what would inevitably happen is that the next person would pick up that tension, magnify it, and dump it on somebody else. So after a while, I noticed that it never relieved the system of this intense energy. It always simply magnified it. So it was going around and around the system, but as it went around the system, it didn't get less and it didn't stay the same. It got more, because reaction, cross-reaction, merging together, even more strongly going to the next node. So what is really, really powerful, if you can visualize yourself as having roots moving upward and roots moving downward. So the roots upward are your connection to your authentic self, to your soul-based self. I'll say more about this in a minute. Roots moving downward, you know what? I think I neglected to actually, give me 1 second. I may have to restart this. I'm sorry, guys. It's not streaming where it's supposed to. I'm going to sign off and sign back on in like 2 minutes.